Welcome back, everybody, to the Behind the Brand podcast. My name is Curtis, and of course, I'm the host. And today we're joined by a brand new business in the hot seat. We have Paul from Buddie Salsa Renfrewshire. How you doing, mate?
Not too bad yourself, man.
I'm alright, mate. I'm alright. Thank you very much for being here on a very early Sunday morning.
Yeah, coffeeed up.
Coffeed up. I know we look as if we're sponsored by like Greg's and Starbucks.
I know. No yet.
Not yet. We're not hit the big time yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there definitely. But all good in the hood, mate, for yourself.
Yeah. Third day of my classes starting in 2 weeks.
It's
fantastic.
I've actually been along to Paul's classes as well. We'll find out obviously about your business and things like that, but I've been along to Paul's classes, and the atmosphere and that is brilliant. Like everybody's dead like together, you know what I mean? There's no judging when you come out as well. But we'll chat about obviously that when we get into it.
I think in 30 seconds folk know the vibe of what I'm like as a teacher already. It's quite
relaxed, quite chill. I mean, it's quite relaxed. Well, Paul, what we do is we obviously get the guest to introduce himself. So could you give us a wee backstory and maybe just a wee touch on who you are and how you started Buddie Salsa, and even let people know what exactly Buddie Salsa is?
Yeah, no problem.
They can probably guess from the name, but let's dig in a wee bit deeper.
So Paul Blair Buddie Salsa. It wasn't meant to be a business that took off with loads of classes and everything else. The story was I look after my mum and dad. They've both got dementia and Alzheimer's. And I've always been at the wine centre, and they offered to give me one of their halls. It was just to give me some money because I basically stopped uni to fully look after them. And it was just to do one class. And then I got offered another place. And then I got another offer place. And then I went in to see James at Business Gateway, and then he said, yeah, that's fine. I said, that's easiest idea you've ever had, because I've been in and out of Business Gateway over the years trying to get that idea and coming together. And it just grew arms and legs for that. I danced when I started uni, danced around COVID as well. It's just one of those things that was good for my health. It helped me keep me going with my mum and dad when it was difficult. Especially getting back in the social community.
Yep.
It's been great night and day. I get asked to help out as a teacher. I get asked to help as a second, just to support people. And then it wasn't meant to be a business, but it's a business now. And it's just grew arms and legs, because my ADHD brain just goes off with all these ideas. So I'm
a bit like you, mate. Don't worry. I go through a new idea every week. Every week. This started as just a dream in the bedroom, and then somehow we've ended up in our own studio.
That's what happens. That's it.
There you go.
So that's the basics. So what we do is teach Cuban salsa. Cuban salsa is a wee bit different. It's no strictly. It's very street. It's comes from Afro-Cuban influences, comes from dances called son, and it's changed into dances like bachata and everything else. It's more of it's like a street with a ballroom mix. So people like it because they can look elegant in it, or you can just look like a dafty in the corner. You can be free. You can be free and do what you want. You can be you. You can be like the chat. If any strictly people watching, you can dance it like it's a Charleston. You can dance it like it's serious. It's up to you. You can make it what you want. That's how I like it.
We love all that. We love all the stripping and stuff like that. We love all the dancing. We've got dance backgrounds as well. And I say we, I mean me and Rebecca, but we've got dance backgrounds as well. And it's funny because we've actually took part in like charity Strictly events and things like that as well. Never quite done the salsa, mind you. Done a Charleston, so I know how hard it is. Yeah. Done a jive, know how hard it is as well. I think I did another one, but I can't mind exactly what it is. But we ended up having to teach dancing at some point after it. The charity, the people that were doing it, we ended up having to do it. So we ended up taking over. So I know how hard it can be when it comes to teaching people who aren't maybe dancers firsthand how to dance. Because it can be so. You've got to have the patience of a saint. And I've seen that probably in you when you were doing your classes as well. But I think the thing for me is, did you always have like you said you picked up dancing though, but did you always have like a burning love and desire for dancing, or did it just happen to be? I think
if I'm honest, I did. I think it was one of those things that when you didn't dance at high school because you get laughed at. You always did this.
I did, but I still get laughed at.
Aye. But I was always like, I was geeky, but didn't fit in with the geeky crowd because I was sporty. didn't want me because I was geeky. I've never fitted in anywhere. So whenever he done it at school, I was like, no, it's all right. And then I just ignored it. And then I played American football, and then I ignored it. And then whenever I've done rough sports, it's like, no way I can dance. You pretend you dance, and then you pretend you dance badly. I'm like, no, I did. And I think it was just one of those things that one of my flatmates at uni, in Carer's flat, asked me to go with her. And then that was it. Boom. Game over. Game over, as in everything else. Everything stopped, and that was it. Yeah, it was like, yeah. And then I took it quickly and fun.
Do you ever think how like silly it is sometimes? Like I think about the same as this, and I always. So I've had a dance background, not like strictly or like any ballroom type dance or anything like that. Like it was like just your standard. Like say like on a Saturday you go to your dance and stuff like. I had that kind of background. So tap, ballet, all that sort of stuff. I've actually done quite impressive things with ballet. I've been in Scottish ballet and stuff like that. Probably people didn't know, but I always kept that hidden just because I was worried about what people would think about.
It's a shame.
And I got over it as quick as I got to the age of about 14. I think 14 was probably the last, 14, 15. And like you, obviously people finding out about it and stuff like that, and people making funny and stuff like that. It's all changed now. Yeah. I would say it's very accepted now. Obviously, in the time where I grew up, and probably you grew up, it wasn't it?
Well, I was mid-30s before I accepted it, so
do you know what I mean?
Like, it's the same thing.
How silly it is that we didn't accept the fact that it was something that we enjoyed.
Do you know the one thing is as well that it's sad? I'm going to talk about it more later on, but my classes evolved into teaching in care homes because I got asked to help. I'll talk about it after, but the point, not to change the point, it's just we've been used to see all those old folk and just think that they lived in dance halls. And Cuban dance comes from what they call casinos over there. It's why I don't call it casino dancing. Could you imagine the licenses I would need to get for half a Renfrew Council? So basically,
attract the wrong crew.
Probably. So I don't call it a casino for a certain reason, but so they call their dance halls casinos over there, and it's their social ground. It's their going out, and it's a completely different mindset. And internationals coming over here, it's the same. They bring it, and they don't care. And I was just, I loved that. I vibed that. I always went out to when I was going, went to uni, went to the international. Amazing. Loved it because it was just, don't care monkeys, just dance away. That's and just be yourself, man. And it's like, I think people want to do that. I think the world's changing a wee bit. I think I touched on that in the first time I contacted you. It's just folk, I don't feel folk want to drink as much anymore. You're finding teenagers that are not drinking as much anymore. People are wanting to go out and do something else.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the world goes full circle again and goes back to that. I think it's that wee, what is it, Gen X or something in between Boomer and the wee kids, man. They'll go, no, I'm not doing it, but everybody else, I think, is more open.
I think my brother would probably call me a boomer. He'd probably say I'm a boomer. I'm so out of touch with all the lingo from the kids and stuff like that.
I'm only just getting on to, I feel like I'm, So when my kid, he's coming out with these new phrases and I don't understand things, and I'm like, no, I'm with it now.
Oh, it's mental. It's absolutely mental.
Yeah.
So obviously with your services and stuff like that you offer, what is it you actually do then for people? Like what is it your business is all about? I know it's obviously about teaching people
simple mindsets to get somebody even with 2 left feet to dance. The seasoned professional, the seasoned dancer, be somebody like yourself with experience or somebody that's completely off, and just get them a fun social environment, build a community, build things we can go at. Places in Paisley, places in Glasgow, go abroad to Berlin, go abroad to Spain to dance in congresses and just have a laugh, have a few, and just find a new community. Again, that's my goal. That's it in a nutshell. And using Cuban dance is the way to go. That's it in a nutshell.
So you're really stepping, like you're starting it here, but spreading it globally.
Taking Paisley globally. Taking the big difference. No taking it globally. I'm taking my mob globally. Aye.
It's so
and
good
affectionately call them my mob, but aye.
And you're a mixed class as well. It's not as if it's just like an all female type thing like that. Like
it's the guy numbers are coming up now. It started off as the couples the guy getting dragged along. Always does. And then it's always because you need a leader and you need a follower. So it's hard in the beginning. It's getting there now.
That was always the toughest thing when I think that's probably what made it worse back in the day when I did dancing, because I was the only boy that did it. I think every dance school had like one guy that was a part of it, and it always made it worse on the boy, because you were used for everything. And
Oh,
you were
yeah,
used as the poster. Like, you were used as everything, the face it, and you're just like, I don't want to be that person.
Aye. But the leaders in my group, I'm on them a wee bit hard, a bit softly. So if, no, we need to get you up, we need to get you developed, and no, they all come on night and day.
How do you think we could convince guys these days, though, to get into it? If it's no, maybe the sense that they still don't see it as like a, and I hope this isn't a thing, but like a manly thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll still see it as quite a feminine thing, I would say, even though it's not.
No.
But fitness wise, you think that like that's a good kind of spin on it for guys? Like,
aye, once it goes into the community, once videos are out there, once things are showing guys dancing it, because it's the salsa in the tail, it's very elegant, it's very tight spins, it's
kind of flamboyant.
It's all this, whereas the guys, it's all about strong shoulders, frames, and the frame gets very overtly masculine at sometimes, and it's the Afro-Cuban element means you're digging into the floor with your steps and things like that. So when it still looks like you're dancing, but it looks, so it's stage one. It's it's nose like Strictly, and then stage two is you're meeting folk there, and it's like that. I think from our point, as broke up with my ex-partner, got a kid, needed to get out there in the 30s to mid-30s, you need something else to do, and your pals are all married, and your pals are all out, and just to get, there's a second option for that. And then the third is actually, it's actually fun because you're dancing with everybody. And there's a lot, I think there's a lot of folk out there that if they know how to do it, and the framework's simple enough, and that's the first 8 weeks is everything for me, leaders and followers. I think to get them in, just show them the social options, show them this, just a wee bit pretentious, change the world a wee bit, just to do the socials, get them out there and just bring something else into Paisley. Like Northern Soul's big now. It's getting bigger in Paisley.
Line dancing as well. See,
line dancing.
That's becoming quite
line
big.
Dancing's going everywhere. Maybe not as much with the guys, but it's just...
I think it will, though.
It will. It's the same principle. It's just, this is what I mean about, just I said earlier about the circle going back down again.
Yep.
I think it's, it could change.
I can see it, it's massive, like it's blowing up in social media and stuff like that, all this sort of dancing thing like that, especially TikTok, where the line dancing, like that's absolutely humongous on it. But there's no reason why Cuban salsa can't get there as well.
It's just that wee bit different. It's just, it's got the, let's call it the pretentious edge of it, because I think, I call it pretentious, no for pretentious dancing. I mean pretentious as in, when we were doing market research for the area and all that, they labelled the area as like interested in arts but only want it for free, which I think was a very naive, because they put very simple 8 or 9 categories, but they've done it for the whole of the UK. And our category was for Paisley, Johnstone, Renfrew specifically, is very people that were interested in the arts but only wanted to do it for free, came from difficult backgrounds, came from things which I've reflected in the pricing structure. But I think that's a load of mince. I think people do enjoy the dancing. People grew up with their grannies and dancing, and you do that to a lassie in a dance floor in anywhere in the world. It's programmed into their DNA. They'll spin in the spot. And I say that to my students, I know. I tease them with it because if you put the hand up, the lady will just spin. And it's like, what spin? And it's there's things that are there and people want to do it. And guys just don't want to make a butt of themselves, just to go back to the point of the question earlier, but they don't want to look like, have a ready and no do it right. They want to know that they can do it, and
there's still that stigma. There's still that stigma behind it as well. Like, because I only really know a handful of guys that actually dance and still dance, unless they've grew up from it and been it and still doing it, and maybe they're not doing it here as such, but maybe they're doing it in somewhere like London, or they're doing it on like the cruise ships and things like that. Like, I don't really see them doing it here, and I think that's a problem that we need to fix as well. Because dancing is so fun. It's fun, and you know what I mean. It's exercise as well. It's good for the mind, good for the body and the soul. You know what I mean? It's good. It's good for all. And I think as well, like, because obviously when I was at your actual rehearsal you were having, there was like a couple there. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that only brings them closer together. As well. You know what I mean? Like with their relationship, and I mean, they get to do something together that's fun.
Because he's quite clearly, the guy you're talking about, quite clearly pushing himself, and is actually loving it. And you can tell he's loving it. And you can tell ones that have been dragged along. You can tell ones that haven't. And he's buzzing. not going to say names and embarrass the boy, but he's having a ball. And I've got guys in most of my classes now, and the guys that started for day one in January, my God, they're flying through the roof now. And don't get me wrong, lassie leaders, you're all doing well as well, so don't need to shout at me on Wednesday when you get this up. But it's
some
good.
of them are brilliant, man. Some of them are absolutely fantastic. From what obviously the clips and stuff that I managed to get, like some of them are so good.
You only came into week 3, which is a crazy thing. So some of them have been doing it for 3 weeks, and that's the ones with the left feet and left feet. Not my phrase, their phrase. You can't teach me. I'm not going to do it. I mean, well, there you go. And
so like you're saying there, week 3 and stuff like that. Do you want to tell the people what it is that you actually do then? Because you do it in a block sort of thing, don't you? You
do it in 8 weeks. Aye. So very first thing you do is you learn the fundamental steps, and you suck at them. Everybody sucks at them because it's designed that once after 24 weeks you've got the basic turns. I don't change my warm up for 24 weeks. It's that in the week 1, some of them are tripping over and getting off things, but I tell them, look, at the end of the day, you do that. I take all the pretentiousness out of it. I make fun of myself when I'm doing the warm up. When I'm explaining the moves, you've literally got me walking down. One of them's called a walking pivot. You walk back and forward. Look at me, I am Gallus. I literally just make a
kind of like a catwalk.
Aye, and I literally go to town with it, and they all laugh at me. And it's folk have relaxed and stuff. Well, he doesn't care, and I went, I don't care. It was literally on my somebody posted up in the group after I changed the names of the Spanish, and I called one of my moves is called Turny Thing. It's not Turny Thing. It's just adios. But and said, I'm so glad that you're not a pretentious pain in the bum teacher. So it went on top of my flyer. Like, yes, that's what I want, because that's what Paisley is, and that's Paisley just want it straight, a bit
people
of banter.
Don't really want to work with a know-all.
Yeah,
as well, you know what I mean? And I think that, as you say, that whole pretentious thing is just like that can really put people off coming back to a group and a class. Yeah, and then with a wee bit of trial and error, one move, you learn it, you dance it. Well, one sequence, and then the next bit, the next bit, the next bit. So by the end of the 8 weeks, you can dance a whole lot. We do it again and again. The muscle memory is getting up. The week, maybe the first week you don't do the move amazingly, but you get around. The second week we tweak it, the third week we master it, and by the end of it, you're away. So I only got to see the people in week 3. Week 3. So that was the beginning bit. That was at the beginning bit that you'd saw was what they'd done for 3 weeks at a time, and it was the new moves. That was a bit, but that's fine. Add in like a wee bit every kind of week, just so every week they do a move or a sequence or something to think about. I think about a transition. I think about that. I think about it that way. I think about it holistically for the point of the lead and the point of the follower. I like to focus on the followers letting the leaders lead, because the two roles, you've got the leader that was in the PC world predominantly the man, the masculine role model, and then the predominantly the female was the follower. So the leader led it, was very strong and very big in his movements, or her movements, or their movements. Yep. The thing is, I think people know, like, from watching, like, anybody that's watched, and I know you're saying obviously it's different for the Strictly and things, those that watch it, it was very predominantly male and female. And even if the female was the professional dancer, the male contestant still had to lead. So I think that's kind of broke how people think about dancing. Because you remember how it obviously was when they started then bringing same-sex couples into it. Everybody was like, how's that going to work? It can work. Obviously it can work, but like that predominantly I would say it's more the roles change is still watching how you say it, but there's the people take on a role when I dance. Literally tell my lead to chuck their partner, as in like to be very strong with their movements, to lead, telling the followers to switch off, and just, which can be hard. Yeah, 100%. You imagine the couple, our couple, is the guy in charge at him? Is the lassie telling him what to do all the time? I'm definitely not the leader. I'm going to watch what I know I can get people into trouble with that one. But the point of the matter is, when you've got sometimes the dynamic, it shows dynamic, and sometimes the worst people to learn as couples at the beginning. I've got to separate them, and I've got to like teach a lassie and teach a guy, and then like, well, if I teach a lassie, then the guy's going to listen to her, and then it gets a wee bit. It just depends on the dynamic. I try and adapt around what I see. But I've at other places I've seen some arguments about, no, this is what you do. You're doing it wrong. No, you need to say it. No, just Leave the egos at the door.
Leave the I leave the relationship at the door sometimes and just do the rules of the dance, man.
Leave the problems at the door. You're here to do something different.
Aye, so at the end of the weeks ago, and then it can progress up levels. More patient, take our time, do less moves, but do them well.
Mm-hmm.
People
so
want
about
to
technique and stuff like that.
I would say so. I would just technique, understanding your partner, understanding weight transfer, understanding things like that. I don't bombard people. I'm sitting taking the mince out of myself and others, and then I sit 5 or 6 weeks, I'm winding up everybody, and then week 6 I'm doing femininity, and I'm doing femininity, and I'm not going to do it on camera. You need to pay for that privilege to get me to do it.
That's part of
the class.
That's part of the what do you call it, the extra service that we our Patreon.
Femininity set, femininity training at week 6, but I take a bit fun of myself, and I'm getting ripped in a new one in front of my students, and it's just
how you're building up relationships though, isn't it?
Oh, completely. It's most important, because I think the dance sorts itself.
100%.
Because it's just its attention with detail. But the point I was getting at was I use humour all the time. If somebody's good at doing something, I point them out and I say, look, this is it. Got this lassie. She'll want me to put it in camera, so she won't mind. We call it the Anna pose. So after week 1, when she does, she stretches out, she's very flamboyant. So in week 7 and 8, it's less important about the pose, but it's more important about the pose is done. Because if the pose isn't done, the moves all roll into one, and then the timing goes off. So we use her moves just to teach that way, for example. But I use the humour in the week, and like, oh, look at this, and there's the Anna pose again. I said, and then at week 7 or week 8, I said, well, I was showing this, that saying about your pose.
Yep.
But the reason why I was winding her up about the pose and blowing air up her backside was because you need to do it, and if you don't do it, that's where the most beginners make the mistake. Is it just all rolls into one?
Yep. And then how do you catch up?
So if anybody does something well, I do it to bring them up. Or if somebody's if a follow's been a wee bit overly leading, I tease them about it, and then the week that they do it, I'm bigging them up again. But I keep mentioning that person. Don't lead. And I look at them, and she gives me a look, but it's just banter back and forth, and she gives me it back now, and that's what you want. That's what
you want. I would rather have banter with somebody and building up the relationships than somebody coming to the class and just hiding in the back the whole time.
I don't like anybody hide. I think you've guessed that. They get
You're quite good at mixing everybody up, and then things like that. And
if people are hiding, I grab one of them and I dance with them, and my dancing partner dances with them. So
it's the way it's got to be. It's the way it's got to be, and it means that everybody's getting a fair, you know what I mean, experience.
Yeah.
Rather than people get what they put into it as well with that sort of stuff. And I feel like that, like, you're kind of encouraging people to basically be like, look, as we say, leave the egos at the door.
Aye.
See, if you're scared, it's absolutely fine. We're here. It's kind of like one big family. It all sort of becomes, you know what I mean, the relationships.
100%.
Because then everybody's then mixing with other people. They're meeting new friends. They're doing all that sort of stuff. And it builds a nice kind of vibe around the place, you know what I mean, a nice community. I think that what your band's building.
And that's it. And then eventually later on they become communities, because Cuban salsa, the benefit is the dancing circles go through headers, and you pass the partner on to the next person, so it becomes like a Kelly. But it's a Kelly that's a more dynamic Kelly, because it's got all these moves that you just call by name or position, and it can be great, and it can be intertwined and everything else. So it can become performance, it can become serious, but it can just be fun where you're learning a move with 12 pals, 6 people be leader 6 who follows, and then it takes on arms and legs for there. Or you can just, in the middle of a dance floor, just call a header in your wee corner and just do your wee circle dance yourself. So it can open up. It can open up to a lot of things for folk to do.
It's class, man.
Aye, so it's fun, and that's what gets me in it. And it's what got me in it in the first place was being able to do all that.
And you've got the 2 levels as well, don't you? You've got a beginner
and improve it. I'll eventually see a 4, but we're at 2 at the moment.
It's beginner and intermediate, if I'm right. Yeah.
Improvers. Intermediate's the 3rd one.
Aye. Oh, there you go.
So we do 3 levels improvers.
3 levels, right, sorry.
Aye, I've got 3 different, let's call them versions of experience where I've been taught before. One that's more Afro-Cuban based, and it's more flamboyant and more free. One that's more structured with technical dancing, and one that takes things from a slow version called Son, and it's my teacher that teaches me remotely for the States, my mentor, Steve Messina. I worked with him.
Aye. I was actually wondering that because obviously I know you said about your dance and stuff like that, but your experience and
video classes,
your knowledge on it and stuff like that, is that like something you've just picked up and learned?
Aye, because for day one, I started at Stirling Uni and then I went to a class in Glasgow, so I was already getting 2 different inputs for day one. I had 2 cracking teachers, John Armstrong and Andrew Gray, for here. Both contrasting styles, both amazing dancers. But one was very all show off, all about me. I loved it. And then Andrew is very technical, straight to the point, precision. Love that too. Very fun, very cheeky when he teaches as well, but very precise, very, very precise. Wee bit more than I am, but that's try and get the best of both worlds.
I was going to say you can take the best parts of both then.
And then I've got a guy that in the States that just throws you into it. You don't even realise you're getting led, and it's so slow, and it's so slow to look at, but it's fast when the music kicks on.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh my God, you're just bleeding like butter. You're just cutting like butter. The followers doesn't even realise she's been led. And it's, so between the 3. So my style completely changed, which was a wee bit difficult because my whole beginner's course I built around all 3 styles to merge the 3.
Yep.
But with a focus in the third one. So that was just all relaxing, a wee tangent to go up. So my improvers have all got I've got the 3 different worlds in every block. So you do one world in one world in the other. I think it stops people getting bored as well because you're not getting the same thing again and again. One of them you're getting about animations, free dancing, a bit more of the showing off. The other one you're getting the technical to the point. The other one you're getting that, and then the circle dancing. You're learning how to do the circle dance, and then intermediate, you're fine. Or if you're staying doing a level, people aren't worried. I try and get this away for this race element that people have to rush through and have to do the weeks so quickly. Just enjoy the dance, man.
Yep.
If you want to learn more moves, we'll do a Rueda class and I can teach the guy a million moves like shoulder breakers and not literally shoulder breakers, man. It's not that type of dancing skills.
It's not a rough dance.
No, but we can make the moves complicated if you want them. There's loads you can do, but the best dancers are the ones that keep it simple.
Yeah.
And just keep the basics and the fundamentals and make them look nice. That's what I nag people with. And any of my leaders will tell you that one, and it's but in the right way. But when the relationship's been built, you're comfortable and everything else. Never push. And if people are struggling, I take the time with them, and then I cheekily move the classes around so that the weaker ones will be one school and then the better ones. So it's
class, man. And I've seen it firsthand. I know exactly. And I've always seen it from a week 3 from what they were doing. So it's interesting how they now would be anyway. Because I know we've obviously got some plans anyway.
And we've got plans, so maybe you'll see week 8.
So, I'll be able to chance to see, and you can point out that that's it.
That was the difference once.
As well.
This one is in the preview video that showed up that's going to be such a night and day difference, for example. Aye.
Definitely. Social media is just the way forward. We're putting this out as well.
Exactly.
And we'll obviously try and get it out there as much as we can. And
100%.
for sure as well, because it's so good. Like, as much as like you don't have to have a dance background when it comes to this sort of thing. Like, Paul is there to be your guide and your expert when it comes to it as well. But I mean, I was just looking at like girls have brought along their friends and things like that. Well, I'd imagine. And it's just like they just look as if they're having such a ball of a time as well. And if we can try and encourage some men to get along, please do.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you'll enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
And you'll meet new people as well. And I think like that, the world is changing now. They're accepting for what people are rather than you have to be a certain way and you've got to be a certain person.
Absolutely.
And you can't do that. That's a women's thing. That's a guy's thing. This is all.
Absolutely.
This is all scraped now. It's
and
all
then,
scraped.
Yeah. And then it grew arms and legs to a different point where I'm now teaching care homes.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
And then I was doing chair dancing. A wee woman had on her wish list with Parkinson's, done salsa all the time, can't date anymore. So I got an email just to ask me to dance with her, in a wee group. I'm like, what's chair? I don't, well, what can I do? So I thought about the chair dancing because I've seen chair yoga and things like that as well.
Yeah, I've seen chair-based exercises.
Breaking all the salsa rules. I'm not going to lie. I've just took a bit of salsa, a bit of bachata, a bit of jazz, a bit of thingies, and just put it into a dance. And just getting folk dancing again. The one example for the one care home is we done it the first week and they were all struggling and every one of them had to help up. Now you see them, they're up and doing, flying up and down the corridors. That care home's getting no falls in the last 6 weeks.
Wow.
Just for that class. Because I get them I make every one of them dance once, if it's whether it's on the chair or standing up. The cool thing with the woman with Parkinson's is she's now at the point where she stands up every dance to at least do about a minute. Then she gets exhausted, falls down, and then we finish at chair. So it's just making key progress in care homes and things. That's going to end up in a social enterprises as well. I'm not going to say the name on the camera because I don't.
Why wait?
We'll wait the now, but you'll know it's me. I've not been original with the name. Put it that way. It's not. It's you could flip a coin and you could get it and then put it that way. So if it's one name will be one and one. Aye, you'll get what I mean when you see it. But aye, so it's going to be Cheer Salsa Scotland and something else for there. And then that's not the name, but that's.
Aye, that's what your plan is.
That's the thing, mate. And it's just to grow up. So I teach at 4 or 5 of them as well. Volunteers coming on and getting my feet deep in the community, which is the reason I mention it is to summarise. That's the point. The way that I teach, the way that I go. I think folk for Paisley, Johnstone, Renfrew are a different breed. We're no Glasgow. We never have been. We never have been people like that. I think there's much of a banter crowd, and the serious point about the arts is people want to do the arts here.
Yeah.
See this thing about the label that was put on my market research about people not being interested in this. It was free. I think that was offer discriminatory, and it was offer put down, and I'm like, no, it's people are interested. They just don't want pretentious. And they don't want it to be like, oh, it's this and it's unachievable and it's a different social class. This is this is a working with your hands, working with each other area. And the way that I teach is the way that I do this in the care homes a lot is doing it. I try to be doing enough. And I think I would never teach this way in Glasgow, for example. Well, I would have elements of it, but this is home. This is my area, and you've got to teach that way for it to work. And I believe with people here, and that's how I think it's taken off. It's not blowing smoke up my own backside, but I think that's how I think it had to happen.
That community.
Yeah, and I think it's how like people like the guy for Lionheart, the way that he's doing these events, very down to earth, very on the point. It's running in how Northern Soul's run. I think it's just. Our area is our area.
Yep.
It's why your music scene has had such pride in it as well. And
but actually, Paisley and Renfrewshire and things like that have got such a wide spec of talent and people that have made it from.
Oh, aye. Scientists, actors, everything. That's came for musicians have all came for.
So it's bizarre to me when they say, yeah, they'll do it, but as long as it's free.
I know, but it was just a naive. But see, the minute you segment people, you're always going to be discriminatory. It was just they fell into that because it was classed as like poverty areas or areas that were struggling or people that didn't have a lot of disposable income, which is probably true. So my price structure reflects that, but so I don't go, it's 45 quid for 8 weeks.
Oh.
It's not much. It's only about £5 a week sort of thing. If you don't like it, you cancel. You get most of the money back as well. Only take as well. It's just you pay for less. Otherwise, I would have just done it the £5 a week.
Yep.
but
you've got costs and things like that as
exactly,
well when it comes to obviously hiring out of a hall and venue and things.
But I still get folks saying your pricing structure is crazy because it's 60, 70, £80 elsewhere for other things.
Yep.
Not just salsa. It can be more. It's about double. And I'm like, well, it's just because you're just trying to get folk in the door and you're just community reputation. You can't buy that. And
Yep.
more importantly, the most important thing is it's just that was what that thing was about, to say that folk weren't interested as if it was free. Maybe because it was free, as in easier to get to, less commitment and anything. But because I know that people could have to drop out because of family reasons. That's cool. You can always come back, but you keep the price close enough where they've not lost a lot. They've learned a lot.
Yep.
From it as well. And
I think you're absolutely spot on with the whole, do you know what I mean, over this. So I'm originally from Pollock, which is classed as Glasgow.
Yeah.
And I travelled through from Pollock every weekend to come here for drama classes and things like that.
Yeah.
Because there was literally nothing in Pollock. Now, I sadly lost my dance teacher when we were very young. So my dancing, it stopped completely. That's the reason why. But see, after that had happened, there was nothing in the area.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's nothing over in that neck of the woods. There was nothing there for me. Nothing I could have done. I've always been interested in singing, music, dance. I've always been interested. Nothing over there. Whereas I actually moved over here, and actually then when I grew up to then get to the age of going to high school, I decided to move over to Paisley rather than going to school in Pollock, because there was more for what I wanted to do in my creative mind, because it is a very creative and a very artistic town, city. You know what I mean? Whatever we call it, it's very artistic. Whereas I'm like, how people can say that they will do it if it's free? I know that's bizarre to me.
I think that's maybe just putting a UK mindset on it. It's putting like different parts of England and areas that maybe people are like that.
Aye.
Or if they're like really. But at the end of the day, this has been a community area. Always has been. People go to the events. People, anytime you do a car fest, anytime you do something in Johnston Square, Houston Square in Johnston,
the people show. They always do. They're always quite passionate about Paisley and the heritage behind it and stuff like that.
Which is why I say that they do it, because it's free, but it's not that people don't want to do other things.
Yeah.
And for me, that just says to not other dance formats and everything, that Paisley's ready for whatever you bring at them. The venues are everywhere now. You've got the Coach, you've got venue, you've got the venue, you've got the two with the same name, you've got the art centre getting rebuilt, you've got
they're actually investing a lot in that. We were chatting about that as well, because they're investing. Obviously, they've done the town hall, which looks brilliant. Yeah. So now we'll probably start to see more performances and things like that going there, whether it be live music, singing, dancing, all that type of thing. And then obviously the art centre as well, because we always did the panel in the art centre, and then obviously it was taken away.
And then you've got the Wind, which has got a big giant auditorium up the stairs that holds 250.
Local shows in there as well.
And and you've got ABC. You've got an ABC. Well, you can make the order what the ABC is, but you've got A venue B, venue C, and then you've got loads of small ones, and then you've got Mill and Bray up at. They've got function suites. You've got function suites. The Abbey Inn. You take your pick around. That's how the guy for Line Art's making a mint of it, and good luck to him, because he's grasped what the community is all about. And it's the same story, but when he's got it, and
he's got a local boy, and I think he cares about his community and stuff like that, and I think obviously he's looking to build up for things for people to do. Yeah. And Paisley and Renfrewshire, because it has taken a wee dip. I know COVID had a big effect on that sort of thing, but he's looking out for the people, I think, as well, that, and bringing local talent up. But
it goes back to your point as well about the area about it's not just about free. Yeah. It's that people can do other things. Yep. Just like going back to Buddie, but in general, the area is.
I've got a friend that basically runs the Ugly Duck and things like that. And that has went from a quieter pub to probably the busiest place to go to in Paisley on a Friday and Saturday. Just shows you. Just shows you. A bit of investment, a bit of time, and a bit of community driven. Yeah. And it'll go there.
Yeah, so basically anywhere with a dance floor, I'm coming at you.
Get in touch. Well, that's a good thing you obviously touch on. How would people actually get in touch with you, Paul, to either want to collaborate with you, or how would they even get in touch if they wanted to get like interested in the block?
Buddiesalsa.co.uk. I'm not being pretentious, it's just the spelling for Buddie, make sure it's the Paisley way. Buddiesalsa.co.uk. Facebook's Buddie Salsa Renfrewshire. Insta is there as well. X, I use it a wee bit. Website's got all the information on it. There's events coming up. We're starting the socials the 1st of May at the venue, not venue, the one above Smushot Cottages. On the 1st of May, there'll be every Wednesday night 9 till 12. Just pop in. You want every wee look to see what we're all about. Big event on 26th of May at the Wines Centre upstairs. Sharp and Elegant Ball. So it's not, put a different name on, it's not a black tie ball. Because I want to give people a bit of flexibility to do sharp in their own way. If Peaky Blinders is sharp, you just Peaky Blinders. If you want to wear a wild outfit, wear a wild outfit. Just to be you, do you. I think that's the whole funny. I've just left it open. I don't want to be stuck with a rule that's black tie. Yeah. Let's let black tie if you want to. There's your idea, but then explode it. Fantastic, mate. That'll be 50-50 salsa, 50 normal music. So if you're a bit scared with the dance and the salsa side, you can just dance to whatever. I'll let my DJ decide. So everybody will be happy with that one. That'll give an intro to the area for there. And if you want to collab, let me know. There's loads of ways.
Perfect, mate. That's fantastic. I think collaboration's massive, especially community driven. It's massive when it comes to it as well. Aye. And like that, they might benefit obviously bringing your service into their service.
100%.
You know what I mean? Whether that be multiple care homes and things like that, or whether it be schools, things like that as well.
Things like that, and then more, getting all these venues filled up with other dance styles as well, because the area's choking for it.
Yep. Fantastic, mate. Thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure, mate.
It's been it's been a pleasure. Honestly, it has been a massive pleasure. It's great hearing your story and great seeing, obviously, like the progression where it started to where it is obviously now. And it's only going to get bigger and better.
Absolutely. I hope so.
Thank you very much, folks, for tuning in and watching us. This has been the Behind the Brand podcast, available on YouTube, Spotify and Apple. Please feel free to drop us a wee subscribe, any likes, follows and things like that on all the socials, and leave a review if you can, because it really does help out, and we can obviously improve if you leave a review and let us know what's going on. But if you are leaving a review, 5 stars for Paul, please, because his interview was absolutely class. And again, thanks so much, mate, for coming along.
Thank you again, man.
Much appreciated. See you in the next one.